Hi everybody, how's it going? We are here with a timeless tarot reading. Before we get started with the reading, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. Okay, I'm seeing that you're going through, you may be starting something, you may be ending something. There's like a bit of a portal here. I was seeing the Strength card. Maybe something that, the way that I'm seeing the Strength card be emphasized here is you may be getting outside of your comfort zone with something. Meaning, specifically, when it comes to your comfort zone and what's outside of that, having Strength card means this is about you being seen in some way. You being heard, you being seen, you putting yourself out there in some way. I'm looking at the High Priestess here. You may like to sort of keep things more private, and this may be an opportunity for you to share something maybe that's important. Some of you are getting the opportunity to do this. Okay, I'm looking at the High Priestess, Ten of Swords reversed, Ten of Wands, the Death card, the Nine of Pentacles. It feels like something's slowly coming undone here. There can be like a lot of anxiety or a lot of stress leading up to this, because I'm seeing it's kind of like being on the precipice of a very big change that's going to happen. Like this is part of you just evolving here on your journey. But to have it end with the Nine of Pentacles, this means that this is something that you're really going to enjoy. I'm seeing like your spirit guides coach you through something here. For some of you too, you may have somebody that you're connecting with. Like High Priestess is about you and your intuition and your connection with yourself and your higher self. And High Priestess can also be like whatever it is that you're using to maneuver through this process that's getting you more and more connected with yourself. In maybe ways that you hadn't been accessing. It's like creating new pathways. You could have also told yourself, like, I'd never do that, or I'd never put myself out there like that, or like the last time I spoke in front of a crowd, like I had such a bad experience, something like this, or like the last time I was vulnerable, like everybody had something to say about it. So it feels like there's this 10 of Swords that I'm seeing, the way that this is energetically coming across is like all of the ways historically that things have impacted you in a way that felt painful, that maybe had you like close off in some way, like not being willing to be seen, or not being willing to be vulnerable, or not being willing to like put your work out there, whatever this has been for you. So like there's kind of, I'm seeing this coming undone. So this is definitely healing that's happening, but I'm seeing it feel kind of stressful at the same time. It's like, even though this is being reversed, even though there's healing that's happening, you could be like, this is just really a lot for me because of just how big of a change this is. But again, to have the Nine of Pentacles on the other side of this, this is something that, like, when all is said and done and you really have transformed through this process, like the end product is something that you're going to enjoy so much. I'm just getting a very uncomfortable feeling, you know, even with the Ten of Swords, it's like you could have been pinned down by something that kind of had you feeling immobile. Something that pinned you down in a way where it created a rigidity within you that maybe became comfortable, like feeling like you were in a confined space. But you spreading out your energy in this way and kind of opening yourself up, it may feel like a lot because you're like, I'm used to being kind of snug like this, and now that this is all falling away and this undoing is happening, it just may feel a bit overstimulating. That's just something to be regulated. It feels more like a feeling rather than a thought. Like, you may not at this point be like overthinking this, but it can just like maybe for some of you physically feel uncomfortable. Like, why is my body reacting in that way? Or just something that's like less tangible but very much felt within your body. I'm hearing this is what growing feels like. This is leading to a new beginning for you. I'm seeing your team be so proud of you. I'm seeing a purple light. It looks like a neon purple light. Or like, yeah, something like kind of lurid and purple. This can be an activation of your crown energy. I'm seeing your guides were like, I don't know if we're going to be able to get them to this spot. Like, are they going to see it? It's like you have to walk through some sort of hidden door, metaphorically. But I'm seeing you just arriving here. Like, you found the door, you walked through it. Like, this is the new beginning. But yeah, I get this feeling like you had been somewhat restricted before, and this is the falling away of that. Like, really opening up. Like, I'm seeing images of birds flying here. This is unlocking something mentally for you. Like, this had definitely been a mental block for sure. But look at how quickly you're moving. So fast. It's like unstoppable. Nothing is getting in your way. You just needed to be released from this. Things may transpire kind of quickly, and that can lead to feeling uncomfortable. You may be like, okay, well, now that I'm out and about, like, what do I do now? And you may feel overwhelmed by that. If you feel like you have to do everything all at once, it may be feeling overwhelming for you, but just know that a timeless saying, you're not too early, you are not too late, you are right on time. The time that it takes you to work through this is going to be happening exactly as it is meant to. If you get to a point where you're feeling overwhelmed, you break things down in smaller pieces. And that's what this is about. Having the 10 of Wands and the World means you need to break this into doable sections rather than feeling like you need to do everything all at once, because this is a transitionary space for you. This is something that is developing. This is something that is building and changing and moving. And so it's not just something that's going to be happening overnight. This is something that it's a smaller part of something bigger that is taking place. I'm seeing you begin and end something very quickly. Like, it may feel like a more short chapter that you have, and then I'm seeing when the next chapter opens, it feels like going from one room to the next. From one room to the next. So whatever this threshold is that you cross, when you get to the other side of this, I'm seeing you have to make up your mind about something, but I'm seeing you also have time to decide. So it can be a choice where you're like, I know that I'm going to need to eventually make this decision, but I'm seeing there be sort of like a grace period where you get to feel this out. I'm not seeing it be, you're not rushed. It's about where you're going moving forward, like where you're evolving to, and sort of like what you want to be developing upon. It can also be connected with what you want, what you are putting your energy into. You could have thought that something was over, that something wasn't an option. And I'm just seeing this moment here where something like becomes possible again. But it could have been something that you gave up on. Like that thing is like dead and gone. And now I'm just seeing it's like ice melting. I keep getting this phrase of like undoing, like becoming undone, this undoing that's happening. Like something that had been done that you may have been like, that is like sealed in concrete. It's now somehow just like disintegrating. And I'm seeing just this thing that's happening here. Like you could have thought that something was like forever and it's actually not. Like that there was no chance of something, or that like that's just how it was, but I'm seeing this like complete undoing here. And now, like, as the ice is melting, you may be like, oh, there's water everywhere. Like, I have to wipe all of this up now. You thought this thing would just be, like, frozen always, and now it's not. So this is about kind of, like, finding your balance as the ice is melting. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing this be connected with. You are right where you're supposed to be. You are exactly where you are supposed to be right now. I'm seeing this be... There's something so significant about this chapter for you. Like, something so special about this chapter for you. So, you're cleaning up the water because the ice has melted. This is going to be a period where a lot is changing and there's a lot of molting that's happening. And you may also need to be in a space where you're becoming more decisive with things as well, but only through reflection. This is not just making decisions arbitrarily. This is about you making decisions that you've like really reflected on and thought about. This is about being deliberate, making deliberate decisions, especially emotionally. Because this is really about cutting through to what you want with the Death card and Judgment here. Some of you aren't at the place of this new beginning, but you're going to be shortly. If you're not there yet. I'm seeing this color come through. It's like a color between a more bright orange and a more bright pink. It's like a gradient between those two. Oh, wow. I'm looking at the Devil, the Hanged Man, and I'm hearing Mars specifically. It's the Tower, which is represents Mars. Yeah, before you go making any big decisions, you definitely want to think about what's going on. Because I will say this. This could potentially be a separate energy, so I just want to clarify, because I may be picking up on an additional storyline here. For some of you, you could have thought that things had... Let's start from the beginning. You were in a relationship with somebody, things came to an end, but there was like this nagging feeling that they're going to be back, or you're going to have another opportunity with them, but things may have felt very unhealthy when you were with this person. Like when you guys broke up, it may have been very difficult, or when you guys separated, whatever it was that happened where like things came to an end and you may have thought that it was just going to be like that. But what I'm seeing is that you may have had this feeling that even if they were the one that ended up leaving or whatever, you may have had this feeling that they would come back around. I'm seeing this be a moment that really just confirms that you knew what was going to happen predictively, where they could have said, like, I'm never going to talk to you again, like something like that. And I'm seeing them just be right around the corner. And you could have known that too. So you could have been like, okay, like that's fine. And now you have another opportunity with them. But what I'm seeing is that there's really monumental potential for this to be just another unhealthy cycle with this person. And so you want to be mindful of what you're signing up for, because for some of you with the time and space you've had from this person, I'm hearing the word limerence. You may have been thinking about them a lot, and you may have sort of like willed this to come to fruition in some way. It's one of those moments where you're like, wow, I'm so powerful, but it may have been something that like you manifested from like maybe a more like shadow energy. And so, and you would be aware of this too. Like, this isn't something where you're like, yeah, I'm definitely like in a high vibrational space and whatever, and like, I don't know why this is coming through. This is something where, like, this manifestation may have spawned from you being very, very attached to somebody and being, like, very much in 3D, very much in a place of, like, desire with this person. And so you may have gotten something to manifest here, or just knew that this person, an opportunity was going to come back around. You didn't know when it was going to happen, but here they are again. And I'm seeing something be undone, but it may be like, we thought that the coffin was like in the casket and that it was not going to come open again. And like here now there's an opportunity for you to sort of pull it back out and open it up. But you want to think about really what's going on here before you do that, because you may be like, yeah, I'm ready to like get myself in another cycle with this person again, but I'm seeing it's going to be very similar to what you experienced with them already. So just be mindful of that. Especially because of Venus retrograde too. This is like the time to play things out again, where things can absolutely be repeating for you. So if you have somebody coming through that you knew that the dynamic was not aligned with your highest good, because I'm seeing there be a very clear awareness that this is a chapter that like you may want it really badly. This feels very guilty pleasure. You may want it really badly, but there may be this part of you also that's like, I also have a higher perspective of this, that this may not be something that's going to last for you. It may really scratch an itch for you though. And if that's something that you want to get into, there's no right or wrong here. Like, we're here to have experiences. And so if this is something that you're willing to go through again, and like you want another ride on the roller coaster, then go for it. You know, there's no shouldn't do this or should do that. It's all just what you are going to experience, what you will to experience within this lifetime. And so just going into this in the most informed way is like why we're here. Like, I'm here to show you the truth about everything so you can make the most informed decision. For those of you that things ended, you may be in a spot where you're like, yes, I have another chance, but there's also this part of you that may have been knowing that it was better for things to stay ended. But I'm getting, some of you have like a really challenging Neptune contact with this person that makes it very, very hard to see things clearly. Where at times you may feel like you just have no control over it, whatever, and you just get very obsessive with this person, or like you fantasize about them a lot and like really can't can't really have a hard time like breaking the pattern, breaking the habit with this person. I am seeing that a tower, if you end up going through with this person, there is going to be a tower that's involved within it. It's going to be a moment where like you rub your eyes and you actually see what's really been going on, but you may not be in this space where you've realized it yet. Like the spell of Neptune may still be very much active in your relationship with this person. What that means is that when you look at this person, you are not seeing what's actually there. You're seeing a mirrored reflection of what you're projecting onto them, especially the fantasy. Is the most clean-cut, simple way for me to put that. It will wear off eventually. This is that happening. This is the mirror shattering. But I'm seeing that's kind of like the challenge for you. So you may not have had enough experience yet where this has fully activated you yet, and so you're going back into, you may feel like this person is like your twin flame, you may call them that. You may need to go back into this, if you choose to go back into this to like experience a full tower. This may lead to like another very big awakening for you. But yeah, if you're like, you know what, I'm just down for it again, I don't care if a tower is going to be involved with it. Like, the thing is with Neptune contacts is that, like, if you have a particular Neptune contact with this person in your synastry, there is not anybody that can come through and tell you that this is just a fantasy, for the most part. You're going to be like, yeah, okay. Like, it's going to be very hard to see until you see it with your own eyes. And that may be what's needed. But you are going to wake up out of this. Yeah. Your higher self knows exactly what's going on. All of the advice that I have to give to you as you move through this is to pay attention to everything. Do not sweep any red flags under the table. If you get a weird feeling about something, keep track of it, even if you're just like writing it in the notes on your phone or like in your journal. Because if you move through this mindfully, there's a lot that you're going to realize that you may not have seen before, but this definitely feels like another round that you get to have with this person. And as I said before, like, the tower is definitely going to be involved in this. However, it's going to lead you into a huge cycle of transformation. So yeah, I'm seeing the High Priestess, like, you're connecting with the High Priestess, and the High Priestess is saying to you, you're entering into this cycle, but it's the intention behind this and like the motivation behind this is attachment. So it's something that is, it's not something that's perennial. It's something that's fleeting. Okay, fleeting. In order for this to happen, the cycle is coming undone. So something that you may have thought, I'm never going to get a chance with that person again. Here it is again. Things thawing out. And you move right into the space of the Hanged Man, which can be like the fantasy being activated again. So this, in the beginning, this is going to feel very, if you choose to go back into this, in the beginning, it's going to probably be like one of the most like best euphoric feelings in like a more carnal way. Not, well, who's to say that this won't also be like a spiritual experience for you? Because isn't everything really? But what I'm seeing is this is way more going to play on your attachments than it is other stuff for you. So this is going to be like also like a psychological thriller. And I'm seeing that because of Neptune, which is like a resistance to seeing what's really there, because I want it to be my fantasy so badly, things are just going to get to a point where they get so stressful that then something is completed and something is achieved. So it's sort of like this breaking that's happening where there's like this realization of like what's actually going on, like this isn't just rainbows and butterflies. And that's when I'm seeing the Tower happen. So this is just going to be like a like the whole mirror shatters, you see the other person, they're looking at you, everything is very different and like disconcerting. It's like having that moment that, I don't know, you may look at this person and be like, I've been with a complete stranger this whole time. Like, I'm getting an energy like that with them. And that's also the thing when you have a Neptune contact with somebody as well. It's like when the mirror shatters, you actually see what's there. So you are going to see the truth. And that, in that moment, that's when you decide, even though it's not my fantasy, like, is this still something that I want to work with or no? And that's what a Neptune contact, like, breaking looks like. You see what's really there, you see what's really going on, you see through, like, the fog and the haze into that other person in that moment. And that's when everything changes. That's when this happens. And then you have a decision to make, a difficult decision to make. Do I do it? Do I not? What's happening here? How do I move through this? And it's going to be something that you need to assess as far as what you want moving forward with this person. Okay. I am looking at Gemini, Scorpio, Pluto, Mars. I'm hearing Cancer very strongly. Saturn, Pisces, Neptune, Capricorn, Moon. Okay, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.